on a real working class hero, Luigi Mangione will not face the death penalty if convicted, judge rules.
So for people who have been following this, his attorney, is it Agnefello, whatever? It's like two names. I forget her name. It's like she's like Italian Jewish. But she's giving a master class in pretrial motions. Apparently she's won every one of her pretrial motions. And what she is doing is slowly but surely chipping away at the case that the prosecutors would have by suppressing all different types of evidence. And this was just one more step in that process. And this particular hearing, they ruled that the death penalty was not on the table, which I knew. And I said, if we went back to our show when they first said that, I said, they're never going to be able to do that because New York doesn't have the death penalty. And the federal charges won't stick enough that it won't apply for the death penalty. So do you want me to read it?
If you dare.
I will. Luigi Mangione, the man accused of gunning down United Healthcare chief executive Brian Thompson, will not face the death penalty if convicted, a court has ruled. U.S. District Judge Margaret Garnett dismissed the federal firearms charges against the 27-year-old that carried the possibility of capital punishment. He will still face stalking charges, which can bring a maximum sentence of life in prison. Mangione was arrested days after he allegedly shot Thompson as the health insurance firm CEO walked into New York City hotel on December 4th, 2024. He has pleaded not guilty to all federal and state charges. And just, we've talked about this since this happened. But not only she's doing better than I even thought. And I still will stand that you're not going to find 12 people to convict him. You just won't.
I concur.
You won't. After the ruling, Mangione's attorney, Karen Agnifilo, thanked the court for this incredible decision, according to BBC's partner, CBS News. We're all very relieved, she said. We're prepared and have been prepared to fight this case, and we look forward to fighting this case. In her ruling, the judge, an appointee of former U.S. President Joe Biden, said 2 of the 4 federal charges did not meet the federal statutory definition of a crime of violence as a matter of law. She noted that her decision was solely to foreclose the death penalty as an available punishment to be considered by the jury. Garnett's ruling was a setback for the Justice Department, which had called Thompson's murder a premeditated, cold-blooded assassination. The judge has given the government 30 days to challenge her decision to rule out the death penalty in the case. They won't be able to. Because they're not going to be able to get a death penalty in this case. In a win for prosecutors, Garnett said they could present evidence to the jury from Mangione's backpack that he had at the time of his arrest at the McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Among the items in the bag were a gun, fake IDs, and a notebook with writings that allegedly detailed Mangione's grievances against the U.S. healthcare system. Defense attorneys had sought to dismiss that evidence from trial, arguing authorities obtained it illegally without a warrant, which they did. Mangione, an Ivy League graduate from a wealthy Maryland family, is also facing 9 charges in a separate case brought by New York State prosecutors, including second-degree murder. Thompson, a 50-year-old, I don't care about him. Investigators say the words deny, defend, and depose were written on the shell casings found at the scene of Thompson's murder. Law enforcement sources say this may have been a reference to the 3 Ds of insurance. You think? That may be connected. Jury selection in the federal trial is due to begin on September 8th, with opening statements due to start on October 13th. This will never happen on time. I'm giving all of you the heads up. Never going to happen on time. There will be delays. This is not going to go smoothly, and it is not going to happen on time.
How could they? Well, hold on a minute. Why is the trial delayed all the way to September?
They haven't even. What are you talking about? They haven't even started jury selection. Like they still have, because she's brilliant. That's why she still has pretrial motions. She's still doing all sorts of stuff. By the time this goes to trial, the prosecutors will be left holding very little.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, but again, I don't want him to take a deal. She probably wouldn't recommend that he takes a deal because, again, I don't think they're going to have a jury find him guilty. This is a jury nullification problem, the likes of which we have never seen publicly anyway. So, because again, I don't see how they're going to find 12 people that haven't had serious problems with the state of healthcare in this nation. Good luck. Or 12 people that haven't had nightmare insurance stories, or 12 people that don't secretly support what happened. There's no way.
I want every one of the people that support this channel, especially that watch my solo show on Saturdays, to remember we do not reference Tyler Robinson by name. We only reference him by Patsy.
We call him the Patsy. We don't need to get, because there's no need to reinforce that name in history or that narrative. It's sort of like we're catching the Lee Harvey Oswald thing before it spreads. Stop that. He is not the person. That's not the person.
Nope. I'll continue.
Okay.
State prosecutors are seeking to try Mangione as soon as July. In a separate incident, a Minnesota man was arrested on Wednesday for allegedly impersonating an FBI agent in an attempt to free Mangione from the Brooklyn jail he is being held in.
Telling you.
The suspect, Mark Anderson, was carrying a barbecue fork and pizza cutter, prosecutors say.
How was he going to do that?
You're going to do coffee your way out of the
now being held at the same facility as Mangione. Good, because that actually sounds like someone that should be held for a little while for his own safety. But yeah, Luigi he's a cult hero, and he will be one, and they will not. I agree. I saw somebody in the chat say time served, which is what I've actually said to Peter earlier. Like, they're not going to be, by the time this is over, he'll get credit for time served, and that'll end up being that.
I still want to know who the son of a bitch was that turned him in. That apparently
they know it was the person at Wendy's. And what happened was the person who called the number called the local police instead of the FBI hotline. And because they did that, they didn't get the money. And so they then not only became like they had to quit the job at Wendy's because everyone knew who they were. So, and then they didn't get the money because of how they did it, which is, to me, I'm sorry, but that's sort of like just desserts.
Oh, absolutely.
Friggin' stoolie. Like, what the hell is that?
No, I'm pretty sure it was a Wendy's. Or was it a McDonald's? I think it was no, it might have been a McDonald's. I think Meddy's right. I think it was McDonald's. But it was
Wendy's was the Patsy. She's right. McDonald's was Luigi was in a McDonald's. But whoever it was, the person at the McDonald's who called, just totally got screwed. No, she didn't get the money. And she didn't get the money because she didn't call the tip line. She called the local police department. So in theory, they came out and handled it. And there was no tip to the FBI line that was giving the money. So she didn't get the money, and she lost her job.
So it was a woman who did it. Interesting.
It was a woman at McDonald's.
Well,
how did we not? We all knew this. I mean, I remember when it happened, they had said that, and that's how I know that.
I didn't recall that. I don't know why I didn't recall.
Yeah, she didn't get the money. And there was a whole thing about that. Like, there were people that were laughing about that. And then there were the people saying she should get the money because she still turned him in, even though not to the source. But she was stupid and she didn't call the number that was giving the money. If there's two different groups of people and one is offering money and one isn't, and you call the people not offering the money, then you're not getting the money.
Yeah, I also want to be very clear that unless it's somebody like a Zio scumbag like Samantha Edis, the idea that you are a McDonald's employee and you're going to turn in somebody like that.
She might have gotten a GoFundMe. I don't know, but I know there were people that felt bad for her that she didn't get the reward and lost her job. I don't.